Liz nods in agreement, her mouth watering at the vibrant and enticing sight. Seriously, Cara, you outdid yourself. This looks like it should be featured in a magazine or something. Have you ever thought about trying food photography? Michelle asked, smiling. Cara shrugs, chuckling at the suggestion. You know, to be honest, I never really thought about it. I just enjoy cooking and making things look pretty. Tanya grins, already grabbing a piece of fruit. Well, if you ever feel like giving it a shot, you've definitely got a talent for presentation. Christina looks at the giant fruit salad and lets out a whistle. Damn, Cara, you really outdid yourself with this, she says. Looks like we got a true artist here, folks. The girls snicker at Christina's exaggerated reaction, amused by her over-the-top appreciation. Cara rolls her eyes playfully, used to Christina's dramatic nature. Cara chuckles at Christina's reaction and responds with a humble smile. Oh, stop it. It's just some cut-up fruit, not a Picasso masterpiece. The girls continue chatting and enjoying the delicious fruit salad that Cara prepared. Michelle takes a bite of the salad and her eyes widen in delight. This is seriously good, Cara. The flavors go so well together. Liz nods in agreement and adds, Yeah, the texture is perfect too. Everything is perfectly cut and mixed. After eating, the girls make their way upstairs, each eagerly grabbing the essentials they'll need for the beach outing. Their bags are packed with clothes, towels, and other beach essentials. From swimsuits to sunscreen, they make sure they have everything they need before heading out. The girls gather by the door, all ready to begin their beach day adventure. Cara opens the front door and steps outside, followed by the rest of the girls. All right, girls, let's hit the shore. The sun is calling our name, Cara exclaims with excitement. The girls all let out a small chorus of enthusiastic cheers. Michelle grins. I can't wait to feel the sun on my skin and the sand between my toes. Tanya adds, and the ocean view is going to be absolutely stunning. The girls make their way to the boardwalk, chatting and laughing amongst themselves. Nicole takes in the scenic view of the beachfront and smiles. This is going to be awesome. I can already feel the stress melting away. Liz grins. Just wait till you see the sunset later. It's going to be a night to remember. The girls set up their chairs and umbrella near the water. Cara takes a seat, opens up her cooler, and takes out some White Claws to hand out to the girls. They open up their chairs and sit comfortably, enjoying the peace, the smell of the ocean, and the alcohol that makes them feel calmer. Michelle takes a sip of her drink and smiles. This is exactly what I needed. Just the sun, the sound of waves, and the company of great friends. Christina pulls out a pack of cigarettes and puts one into her mouth to light it. Cara sneaks a glance in front of her from the corner of her eye as she observed. Christina, what the hell are you doing? You know you can't smoke on a public beach. You don't see Michelle or Liz lighting up, do you? That's because they know to be considerate of a public beach, Cara whisper shouts. Michelle joined in. Come on, Christina, have some respect, she says. Christina rolls her eyes and takes the half-lit cigarette out of her mouth. Oh, please. It's one freaking cigarette. What, you think it's going to kill somebody? Relax. Cara shakes her head firmly. It's still disrespectful to the people around us, especially if they don't want to be exposed to secondhand smoke. Liz chimes in, supporting Cara. Exactly. It's not only disrespectful to others, but it's also harmful to the environment. Christina rolls her eyes again, clearly annoyed by their nagging. Geez, you guys are such wet blankets. I just wanted to smoke. We're not being wet blankets, Michelle chuckled, covering her mouth. We're just telling you to consider other people. This is a public beach. Cara adds, It's just common courtesy. Christina huffs, clearly annoyed by the lecture. Fine, I'll put it away, but you guys are just being buzzkills. You know, Christina, I would really think about what you're saying to me. I really am not pleased with your behavior right now. I took time out of the month to spend weeks organizing this weekend getaway, and it was very stressful trying to find a place that would accommodate all of us. I thought we all deserved this trip after facing stress at our jobs, but it seems like you don't even care. Cara purses her lips and leans back in her chair. Christina chuckled. Oh, for fuck's sake, she said, rolling her eyes. I wasn't going to smoke the whole thing. I just needed a hit of nicotine to relax. I'm good now, she says, crushing it into the sand. Sorry for being inconsiderate, Cara, Christina says under her breath. Cara studied Christina closely, trying to gauge her sincerity. Well, apology accepted. Just try to be more respectful moving forward. Christina nodded her head slowly and then turned her attention back to tanning. She put her sunglasses back on and closed her eyes. Listening to the ocean made her reflect on a lot of things. Work, fighting with her new friends, and thinking about how she acted at Cara's white party. As she sat in silence and refused to engage with the girls, she knew that she just had to relax for a while. Michelle, Liz, and Cara all stood up. They weren't interested in laying in the heat and sweating like a pig. They decided to walk along the shore and feel the water. They walked to the end of the beach where the rocks were, and along the shore, looking at unique seashells. Tanya and Nicole were in a conversation on Christina's right, a little further away from where the girls had set down their stuff. They laid on the sand and enjoyed the heat. As Cara, Michelle, and Liz walked along the shore, they left Christina behind, enjoying the quiet solitude. Cara looked back to see Christina lounging in the sand, eyes closed and ignoring the others. Michelle nudged Cara's arm, pulling her attention back to the present. "Looks like Christina's in one of her moods again," she said, a hint of frustration in her tone. Cara shrugged, not wanting to dwell too much on her friend's behavior. "Yeah, let her sulk. She'll snap out of it eventually." "She's just relaxing," Liz commented. "She needs to. We need to let her be." Cara nodded. "I actually considered not inviting her to this mini vacation. I realize she's a lot to handle. I can't imagine being in a relationship with her. I would go insane. Props to her for handling 2 partners." Cara rolled her eyes. Michelle let out a snort. "You're not even kidding. Can you imagine dealing with her mood swings and tantrums on a daily basis? It would drive anyone crazy." Liz chimed in, her eyes still scanning the shoreline for interesting shells. "Yeah, and imagine trying to plan anything with her. It would be a nightmare. She's always so unpredictable." "I know," Cara laughed. "I hear she's not a very good manager at her store. I know a few people who shop there. They've seen her disagreeing with coworkers, yelling at her associates, and slacking around on the floor. Of course, there's more." Michelle shook her head in disbelief. "Of course she's causing drama at work, too. I can just imagine her boss getting fed up with her behavior." Liz picked up a small, colorful shell and examined it. "I've heard she doesn't even show up on time for her shifts half the time. How she hasn't been fired yet is beyond me." "I can't imagine how she is with Rob when they're working together. I mean, they're managers together in the same department, and they sneak around the store acting like they're just coworkers and nothing's going on? Like, that's insane. I'm sure if anyone found out, Christina's little secret would be out in no time," Cara sighed. Michelle chuckled. "Yeah, it's a miracle they haven't been caught yet. Can you imagine the gossip and chaos it would cause if people found out?" Liz nodded in agreement. "It would be a complete mess. I bet there's even more drama going on beneath the surface that we don't even know about." "Hiding your relationship from people is so immature in my opinion. It's just a childish thing to do nowadays. I mean, we're not in high school, but they are at work and I'm sure there are policies for that, which she is probably unaware about," Cara shrugged. Michelle chimed in. "She's not aware of a lot of things, to be honest." Liz chuckled. "Yeah, like common decency and respect for others." Cara chuckled. "Exactly. She can be so oblivious and careless sometimes." Michelle nodded in agreement. "She just does whatever she wants without thinking about how it affects other people." Liz added, "And then she acts like she's the victim when people call her out on her behavior." Michelle chimed in. "And don't forget how defensive she gets whenever someone calls her out on her behavior. She always acts like she's being attacked when all we're doing is pointing out her flaws." Liz nodded slowly. "Everything is coming together now. She deserved those 2 decades of silence. The way she treated me in the office really stuck. Ever since March, I've thought about going back to the hot yoga class when I saw her for the first time in years. But sometimes when I walk out of that door, I hear her obnoxious greeting to me and get traumatized." Cara's expression softened in sympathy. "I don't blame you for feeling that way. It's completely understandable." Michelle nodded in agreement. "Yeah, she can be really abrasive and off-putting. I've heard some stories from other coworkers about how rude she can be to them." "Does she remind you guys of Marnie at all? I mean, about victim blaming and feeling attacked, ganged up on in every argument. Maybe she's a bit of a narc herself," Liz chuckled wryly. Cara and Michelle both nodded in agreement. "Now that you mention it, there are some similarities," Cara said. Michelle added, "Yeah, she definitely has some narcissistic tendencies. She always has to be the center of attention and expects everyone to cater to her every need. It's exhausting." Liz nodded. "And don't get me started on her constant need for validation and praise. It's like she thrives on the attention, even if it means being unpleasant to others." Michelle rolled her eyes. "Yeah, and she always has to be right. She can't take criticism without getting all defensive and lashing out. It's infuriating." "And she looks better brunette," Liz sneers. Cara nodded in agreement. "I agree. I don't know why she decided to go blonde. The darker hair did look better on her." "Sometimes blonde looks bad on a lot of people," Michelle chuckled. "Christina is one of them." "It looks really good on Nicole," Cara replied with a grin. "Her dark hair looks fantastic on her. It really brings out her features." Michelle agreed. "Yes, Nicole looks gorgeous with her dark hair. It really suits her vibe." Liz chuckled. Yeah, she definitely pulls it off better than Christina. No offense to Christina, of course. She was going for that dirty blonde look, but her roots are too dark and now she just looks like a banana, Liz says. Cara and Michelle burst into laughter at Liz's comment. That's definitely spot on, Cara said between giggles. She does kind of resemble a banana now. Maybe she should have stuck with the dark hair. Liz, Cara, and Michelle all return back to their spot near the shore. Christina is on her back now, grilling the other side of her body. Tanya and Nicole are engaging in a volleyball game. The girls watch as Tanya and Nicole playfully hit the volleyball back and forth, their competitive nature surfacing. Michelle chuckles. Those two are so competitive. Cara nods, grinning. Yeah, but it's entertaining to watch. Michelle chuckles, playfully rooting for Tanya. Go, Tanya! Show them how it's done! The girls cheer on Tanya as she skillfully returns the ball over the net. Meanwhile, Christina remains tanning on her towel, occasionally glancing over to see what the others are doing. Liz, still focused on the game, comments, Tanya's got some serious skills. She's really holding her own out there. Michelle nods in agreement. Yeah, she's giving Nicole a run for her money. Amongst the cheering and chatter, Christina looks over to see all 5 of the other girls having a good time while she tans in peace. She debated going over to join them, but realized that they probably didn't want her around. The girls glanced over at Christina in the distance, noticing that she was enjoying the sunshine and wasn't moving an inch. Cara, Michelle, and Liz continued observing the game between Tanya and Nicole as they exchanged shots. After a particularly close round, Tanya emerges victorious, winning the game. Cara grins at the outcome. Looks like Tanya won the game, she claps for her. Michelle gives Tanya a high five as she approaches them, still a bit out of breath from playing volleyball. Hey, congrats on winning, Cara compliments her. Liz agrees. Yeah, you were amazing out there. Tanya grins. Thanks, guys. I was determined to win. Nicole gave me a good run, though. After the volleyball game, the girls returned to their spot and checked their phones for a little while, trying to decide what their next activity was. A moment of silence passes, and Liz chimed in with an idea. We should have a sandcastle competition. Whoever makes the most unique sandcastle before the sun sets wins, she says with a smile. The girls exchange grins at the suggestion. Michelle raises an eyebrow. Sandcastle competition, huh? I'm in. Cara nods in agreement. That sounds fun. We can split up into teams and see who can come up with the best design. I'm in, Tanya grinned. That sounds like so much fun. It's been forever since I built a sandcastle, Nicole smiled. Christina, do you want to join us? We need another person to make the teams even, Cara offers. Christina, still lounging on her towel, lifts her head up with a lazy expression. Sure, I guess I can join in on your little competition, her voice dripping with a snobby tone laced with her usual New York accent. Great, so Tanya and Nicole will be one team, Michelle and I will be another, and Liz, you can pair up with Christina. Got it? Cara says. Liz grins and nods, accepting her pairing with Christina. Sure, that works for me. Christina just grunts in acknowledgement, barely lifting her head. Alright, let's all pick an area for our sandcastles, preferably not by the shore, Cara says, pulling out a bag of beach toys. Should we have a time limit, or just go for before the sun sets? Michelle asked, standing up. Cara thinks for a moment. How about setting a time limit of, say, 30 minutes? That should give us enough time to build something decent. Michelle nods in agreement while Liz pipes up. Yeah, that sounds fair. It's not too long or too short. I like it. The girls split up to their respective spots, ready to start building their sandcastles. They begin gathering their beach supplies and start planning their designs, excitement and friendly rivalry in the air. As the girls get to work on their sandcastles, their competitive sides come out. Each one is determined to build the most impressive and unique structure before the time limit is up. Michelle and Cara work diligently on their sandcastle, coordinating their efforts with the limited time they have. They chat and brainstorm ideas while shaping the sand into intricate towers and fortifications. Liz and Christina, on the other hand, seem to have a bit of a creative mismatch. Christina occasionally grunts, but doesn't seem to contribute much to the actual construction. Liz looks increasingly annoyed as she tries to shape the sand on her own, while Christina mostly lies there, giving suggestions and not physically contributing. Christina, are you doing okay? You've been lying in the sun all day and hardly helping with the sandcastle. It's like you're not even trying. Christina rolls her eyes. Well, I'm sorry. I've just been doing a lot of overthinking and now I'm unable to focus, she shrugged. Liz narrows her eyes, her annoyance growing. That's no excuse. We're supposed to be working on a sandcastle together. But you're just lying there, leaving me to do all the work. Okay, so what do you want me to do to help? Christina snapped. Liz scuffs, feeling frustrated. Maybe actually get off your ass and help me build the sandcastle? We're losing time here, and I can't do it all by myself. Christina sits up from her towel and makes her way over to the sandcastle. It looked pretty good, and she didn't know why Liz was attacking her over the fact that she wasn't helping. It seemed like Liz could handle it on her own. As time passes, Christina worked on shaping the sandcastle and listened to Liz's orders. Tanya and Nicole were working very quickly and making a lot of progress with their good teamwork. Meanwhile, Cara and Michelle are working diligently on their own sandcastle, their teamwork and planning paying off. They step back to admire their handiwork, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "I think we did pretty well," Cara says with a satisfied smile. "Our sandcastle looks amazing." Michelle grins, agreeing. "Yep, we make a pretty good team. Let's hope it's enough to win this competition." Tanya and Nicole are just down the shoreline working fiercely on their own sandcastle. Despite their easygoing personalities, they are determined to win the contest. Tanya seems to be the more competitive of her girlfriend, but that was her nature. She was giving orders and being bossy. "We need to add more spikes on the top," she instructs Nicole. Nicole nods, diligently following Tanya's instructions. She's more laid back, but still fully committed to winning. Tanya and Nicole work seamlessly together, blending their competitive spirits and their creative talents. Their sandcastle is coming along nicely with intricate details and a striking design. "We're winning this competition. I can feel it," Tanya says, her eyes gleaming with determination. Nicole grins, sharing the same confidence. "Definitely. Our sandcastle is looking sick. Can't wait to show the others our masterpiece." As time ticks away, the remaining girls are starting to feel the pressure. Cara and Michelle exchange a look of concern. "We only have a few minutes left," Cara says, the worry evident in her voice. Michelle looks around and nods in agreement. "The others are going to finish any minute now. We need to add some final touches and hope for the best." Meanwhile, Liz and Christina are scrambling to finish their sandcastle. There's a visible stress on their faces. Liz's face etched with anger as she noticed Christina playing in the sand like a child. She shook her head and ignored her. Cara checks her phone. 5 minutes left, she calls out to the others, her voice filled with urgency. Michelle's eyes widened. 5 minutes? We need to hurry. Tanya and Nicole exchange a determined look, increasing the speed of their task. Liz growls, growing more irritated with every passing second. "Hurry up, Christina!" Christina groans, feeling the pressure. "I'm going as fast as I can. Quit nagging me," she snapped. Liz gritted her teeth, feeling the heat of the moment. "You're slow as hell. We're going to lose because of you." "Oh, so now this is all my fault?" Christina retorts, her frustration bubbling over. Liz fumes, barely containing her anger. "Well, who else is constantly slacking off and wasting time?" Cara looks at her watch and shouts, "Time's up, everyone! Stop what you're doing! Time's up!" Cara looks around at the sandcastles, her eyes wide with anticipation. The girls gather around their respective sandcastles, their competitive spirits slowly simmering down. There's a mix of excitement, nervousness, and anticipation in the air. Cara, the designated judge of the competition, begins to inspect each sandcastle. She looks at the details, the structure, and the overall design, trying to decide which team has put the most effort into their creation. The girls watch eagerly as Cara moves from one sandcastle to another, scrutinizing every aspect. The tension in the group thickens with every passing second. Tanya and Nicole's sandcastle is a masterpiece of creativity and precision. The structure is adorned with elaborate towers, each one a work of art in their own right. The design is intricate, with every detail carefully planned and executed. Michelle and Cara's sandcastle is a testament to their teamwork. The structure is solid, with a well-planned design and striking features. Liz and Christina's sandcastle is a bit less impressive. It's a simple structure with minimal details and lackluster design. Cara finishes her inspection and stands back, contemplating her decision. The girls wait impatiently, their nerves on edge. Finally, Cara clears her throat, preparing to announce the winner. "All right, I have come to a conclusion," she says, the suspense thick in the air. The girls lean forward, their breath caught in their throats. Cara takes a deep breath, a small smile on her face. "The winners are Tanya and Nicole," she announces, her voice full of admiration. "Congratulations, girls," she says with a smile. The girls react to the announcement, some expressing disappointment, others genuine congratulations. Tanya and Nicole couldn't help but grin at each other, feeling a mixture of satisfaction and relief. "Yay!" exclaims Tanya, hugging her girlfriend. Liz claps freely and gives both Tanya and Nicole a hug as she congratulated them. Michelle smiles warmly and congratulates her friends. Meanwhile, Christina sits in silence, rolling her eyes. "But that's not fair. Tanya already won the volleyball game, and now she's won the sandcastle competition? She's such a cheetah." Liz darted her eyes directly at Christina, giving her a cold stare. "What the hell, Christina? Can't you be happy for anyone? Maybe if you stopped complaining and showed a bit more compassion, we would have won. You made me do all the work and then complained that you couldn't handle it because you weren't going fast enough. You're a sore loser. Just admit it. Liz shook her head. Christina clenched her fists, feeling a wave of anger rise within her. I'm not a sore loser. I just think it's unfair that Tanya always wins everything. She's so damn lucky. Liz scoffed at Christina's words. Lucky? You really think she's just lucky? Maybe she's just better than you. Cara and Michelle watch as Liz and Christina continue to argue. Cara rolls her eyes at the bickering. This is getting ridiculous, she murmurs to Michelle. Guys, calm down. It's just a silly competition. Can't we be adults about this? Michelle nods, shaking her head. Seriously, you both are acting like bickering toddlers. Enough already. Tanya and Nicole exchange a knowing glance. They've noticed Christina's bad attitude throughout the day, and they're not thrilled about it. Congratulations, Christina said, her voice barely above a whisper. You guys did great. Tanya and Nicole give Christina a skeptical look, not totally buying her half-hearted compliment. Thanks, Christina, Tanya replies cautiously. Nicole raises an eyebrow, not entirely convinced by Christina's tone. You don't exactly sound enthusiastic about congratulating us. Yeah, maybe because this shit is rigged, Christina chuckled, standing up from the sand. She gave Tanya and Nicole a forced stare. Tanya rolls her eyes, clearly annoyed by Christina's behavior. Rigged? Seriously? She retorts. We won because we worked hard. Simple as that. You just can't handle losing. Christina, I'm having a hard time ignoring you. Be happy for our friends or feel free to get out. Now let's pack up our things and head back to the house. I'm starving and I'd like to get a bite to eat at one of the restaurants on the boardwalk, Cara says, collecting her bags. Christina looks a bit taken aback by Cara's blunt words. She wasn't expecting such a candid response from her friend. I didn't think it was that bad, Christina murmurs, feeling a mix of shame and defensiveness. Cara sighs, her expression softening a bit. Look, I don't want to make things uncomfortable, but your attitude is bringing everyone down. We're supposed to be having fun on this trip, not dealing with constant complaints and negativity. Christina lets out a sigh, realizing that she's been called out by everyone. All right, I'm sorry for being an asshole, she mutters, her ego bruised. I guess I got carried away. The girls pack up their things and head back to the house. Cara tells everyone to get changed while she finds a place on the boardwalk where they could get food. Michelle heads upstairs to her room, drops her beach bag on the bed, and pulls out some clean clothes from her suitcase. She closes the door and gets changed. Michelle is wearing white ripped jeans, a black v-neck tank top, and beige sandals. Tanya, on the other hand, is taking her sweet time in the shower. She is planning on wearing a striped red button-down shirt with khakis and a black tank top underneath. She's keeping it simple with her Birks. Nicole is changing and planning to wear something comfy. She puts on a blue and white tank top with a corset back and white jeans. Christina is in her room, window open, door closed, and lighting up a cigarette on her bed. She was debating on going to dinner with the girls or just chilling in the house and enjoying the peace. Liz was changing into loose ripped jeans and a light pink colored tank top. She settled for her Birkenstocks. After filling up a small shoulder bag, she headed downstairs. Cara made her way upstairs and straight into the shower to wash away the stress. She came out moments later, braiding her wet hair. She puts on clean clothes, a white linen jumpsuit with beige wedges. Liz and Cara were on the couch, both on their phones as they waited for the girls to come downstairs and meet them in the living room. Michelle comes down next, holding a small white shoulder bag. Christina reluctantly throws her hair into a low, messy bun and puts on a zebra print matching set. She wears a black bra underneath. She was feeling uneasy about having dinner with the girls after what happened on the beach. She picks up her bag and heads downstairs. Nicole is next, carrying a small hobo bag, and lastly, Tanya, who is buttoning up her shirt as she walks downstairs. Cara interjects gently, trying to keep the peace. So, everyone ready to go? The girls gather their things, with some of them giving one final glance at Christina as if gauging whether or not she'd keep her word. Everyone nods in response, though they remain cautious around her. Cara takes note of their hesitation, but doesn't push the issue. Alright, let's head out then. I found a nice pizza place we can walk to. The girls finally arrive and step inside Chubby's Pizza of Brooklyn, the warm, inviting atmosphere instantly surrounding them. The pleasant aroma of freshly baked pizza wafts through the air, and the soft sound of chatter fills the room. Cara leads the group to a booth, and everyone takes a seat. They take a moment to look over the menu, the tension still lingering in the air. The girls are seated at a booth, Cara on one end and everyone else around her. Cara opens her menu and looks at the selection of choices. It all looks good. I'm definitely getting the veggie pizza, Cara says as she scans the various options. Michelle pipes up. I'm going for the classic pepperoni. You can't go wrong with that. Tanya leans back in her chair. I'm feeling adventurous. I'm going for that chicken pesto one. Nicole smiles at Tanya's choice. That sounds good, babe. I think I'll share a few slices with you. Liz glances at the menu. I'm torn between the margarita and the barbecue chicken. They both look so good. Christina smiles widely, looking at the options on the menu. I'll go for a Philly cheesesteak pizza with a side of mozzarella sticks, she says. And for a drink, I'll have a watermelon margarita. She closed her menu. The girls look a bit surprised by Christina's order. Nicole raises an eyebrow. A Philly cheese pizza, mozzarella sticks, and a watermelon margarita? That's quite the combination. Yeah, well, I always go for big orders at pizza restaurants. I have a big appetite today, I guess. She shrugged. No kidding. You sure know how to put it away, Liz remarks, eyeing Christina's selection with a raised brow. After the girls decide what they want to order, the waitress comes in to take down their drink and food options. The waitress walks away, letting the girls know that she'll bring the drinks right over. The girls are sitting in silence for a little while waiting for someone to strike up a conversation.